Hello everybody, this is BrawlFan1, and instead of working on episode 6 like I should be doing, I'm doing another commentary. I'm sorry, these are just so much fun, I will admit that. I enjoy commentating on my own videos, 'cause I like bashing on my own mistakes. It's a good way for me to recognize some, some flaws that I do in the past and learn to not make them in the future. So here we have episode 3. Significantly one of the shortest episodes in the series as of right now. But then again, there isn't a lot to this episode. Let's see. This is also the first episode in Super Smash Adventures that was most similar to a previous episode in Super Smash Chronicles. In Super Smash Chronicles, the fifth episode of that was the same episode where Maple was also introduced, obviously through the same way by a stork. Was I don't think it was exactly gone about the exact same way, but I know it was something similar. I can't quite remember though. I think we'd all scream if we saw that. Honestly, who wouldn't? Poor Luigi, he gets so abused. Oh, anyway, before I got off topic, the original fifth episode, instead of taking place in a forest where where Maple disappears, she actually goes missing in a mall. Like, as opposed to being kidnapped, Mario, Luigi, and a bunch of other characters were in a mall, and there was a blackout, and Maple went missing. Like, she crawled away. And then a bunch of Looney Tune antics happen while trying to get her back, and in the end, Yoshi ends up finding her and bringing her back by sheer coincidence, which in a sense kind of happens here as well. I really wish I didn't add sound effects over this. It would have kind of... I think the lack of sound effects for this part would have made it look a little better, but... what are you going to do? Now, evidently, I can already tell that everybody kind of saw what was going on here. The moment they saw that stork, they knew instantly what was going on. They instantly knew that I pretty much gave Mario and Peach a child. What nobody did expect though was what I made happen next, which, as you should know, is where Bowser Jr. develops a crush on Maple, an envy joke considering how Bowser is in love with Peach. His son suffers the same fate and falls for Peach's daughter. Now, what I don't understand is, why didn't anyone get that instantly? Everyone a lot of people instantly assumed that I'm pairing up Bowser Jr. and Maple. For one thing, that's bestiality, and I hate bestiality. And two, I don't have a two. Never mind, it's just the one. I don't support bestiality. I really don't care if you do or not, I just don't like it. But no, people, just to clarify, Bowser Jr. and Maple will never be a couple, it's just an envy joke. And I really could have made that look cooler. Like, I should have drawn that like I did in the one scene. And as you can probably tell, that's actually a hand-drawn picture that I scanned and then colored in Photoshop. It doesn't look all that great, but you know, that was a while back, and hopefully I developed some new skills. Also, funny. Oh, here. The word beautiful, I misspelled that on purpose because I had it so that Junior couldn't pronounce it. Unfortunately, I didn't show that. I didn't show that too well, and everyone just thought I misspelled it horribly. But no, Bowser Jr. just couldn't pronounce it, and thus I misspelled it. Also, funny thing. Right before I uploaded this episode, after I finished it, or this part anyway, I individually showed it to a couple people on Skype to see what they thought, because I wanted to scare them with the Bowser Jr. love scene reaction, and it was pretty funny. Like, first I showed it to my friend Photon Priest, he got a good kick out of it. Then I showed it to Supersonic 407, he laughed hysterically. Supersonic 407 laughs at anything if it's funny. Who else? Kenshi got a kick out of it. I remember Shutsu was just all like, "No! What the fuck?" Something like that. It was pretty funny. Like, they all expected Maple because they knew about Maple from the previous series, but they didn't expect me to have Bowser Jr. fall in love with her. All of them laughed at that. And once again, another irony joke. Bunch of random food items. And the one mushroom. Oh, and for the people who keep asking me, what Maple is based off of, the Maple sprite sheet is based off of, the baby Princess Peach, both from Yoshi's Island DS and Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Oh, this one. This joke was, my friend Keith gave me this idea. It's like, he randomly made the joke, and I was like, oh my god, I have to use that. Oh, and that little sprite right by the bed, that is a Geno sprite. Small little cameo. And here begins part 2. Now, I had a hard time debating whether or not I should do this next scene, where Peach has Mario and Luigi move into the castle. But ultimately, I decided to end up doing this, because for one thing, it wouldn't make much sense if new parents live separately, especially if they're not even divorced or not a couple or anything. Because it's quite evident that Mario and Peach have feelings for each other, so it would only make sense if they randomly became parents out of nowhere, that Mario would want to move in. And of course, I'd imagine Peach would be the first to bring that up. Yeah, random little items from Mario and Luigi's house to show them moved in. Billy still hasn't quite figured out how to use a bed. Oh, and that looks like a masking effect, but it really isn't. It's actually just sprite pixels moving. And here we randomly see Yoshi in the forest. A little bit of foreshadowing. It looks laggy here because for some reason the tree sprites, they make Flash lag. I don't know why. I really hate that. I'm trying to like foreplay them. And then what you see is what you get. So it's worth going to check on Maple because he's surprised that she hasn't woken up. She hasn't woken up yet. And then that's how he discovers that Maple went missing. This is also something kind of similar to the original episode 5 of Smash Chronicles. Originally, it was all like the male character. Like, let me see if I can remember them all. It was Mario, Luigi, Fox, Falco, Diddy, and Billy, I think. And when Maple went missing, they all went to go look for her. But they did not want to know. They did not want Peach and the rest of them to figure out that they lost her. and they never told them later on. So this is kind of similar because when Toadsworth found this out that Maple went missing, he didn't want Mario and Peach figuring it out. It's kind of a close up of Maple. And once again, some more irony coming from how Bowser Jr. is just like his father with his cockiness. Later. I was actually really tempted to have a Parasol come out just like for Baby Peach, but I figured it'd be funnier with the Snorlax, just the random Snorlax. Like, wait, where'd that come from? I probably should explain this part actually next. This forest that they're in is actually a forest inhabited by, as I imagine you should know, is a forest inhabited by Pokemon. It's just one random part of the forest. And what I pretty much used here was only Pokemon that was from the Smash games. Like if you had noticed, like Snorlax, Beedrill, Onix, Coughing, and yeah, and then obviously the Pichu, Pikachu, and Jigglypuff. Those were all Pokemon that appeared in the Smash games as Pokeball items. And well, those aren't Pokemon Smash characters aren't the only Pokemon I'm going to use for this series. It's just Pokemon found outside of Kanto, Johto, and all of them are going to be Smash Pokemon. That's kind of how I'm pulling this. Of course, Toadsworth calls on the Star Fox crew. Like, I'm sure Toadsworth is glad that the Star Fox decided to stick around. That's Falco just being an ass like he always is. I will admit, even though I made it, I kind of always chuckle at that part. And then laggy custom pose for Toadsworth. And here's where we start incorporating a couple of new other characters. Baby alone. Baby alone. Okay. Honestly, I believe that I am one person that believes that Pokemon in their entirety are nothing like they really are in the actual shows. Like, Pokemon in the shows are, like, overly friendly, but that's because they're kid-friendly shows. If you, like, read the actual Pokedex entries and stuff like that, you find out that the Pokemon are, like, really devious and like, real-life animals. Oh, and then, of course, I have subtitles that are different from the text boxes for the Pokemon, because they're not actually talking. They're talking amongst themselves. But then again, I kind of had to do subtitles because it's like, you know, it'd be wrong of me just to expect everyone to kind of figure out what they're talking about when it's just them talking in Pokemon. I need to have some kind of you get the gist. Naive, childlike behavior. And here's where I incorporate my my first actual original character, Heraine the Python. Heraine never actually showed up in an episode of Smash Chronicles. He was originally supposed to, but I never got that far into the series. And funny enough, actually, the idea that I got for Heraine actually came from somebody that I really did not like before. Like, not a lot of people will know this guy, but Dayton or Dark Dayton or whoever, or some of you may know him. A bunch of others may not. I'm sure actually most of you may not know him. I'm sure a few of you will. But like Dark Dayton, he used one of his avatars, one of his many avatars that he used to have was a recolored Sonic and Shadow character that was green with really long spikes and a really long tail, and he called it a snake. Now, I really did not like that because I believe that snakes should not have arms and legs. So that day, I created a snake character with mechanical arms, so it make more sense, you know? Like, he's still a snake with no arms and legs, but he has arms because they're mechanical. A cyborg snake, pretty much. So ironically, it's because of someone that I do not like, which is why I have my first, most original character. Also, just to clarify, I do have copyrights on Heraine. I got copyrights on him, so I shall sue you if you try claiming Heraine as your own and trying to gain money from him. And I'm not joking either. Heraine, I really feel is one of my best characters, and I don't want to lose him. I want to use him for future stuff, which does not include Nintendo characters. Onyx! Laggy! I think the Onyx would have saw that, but whatever. This is also kind of another reference to the original episode 5 of Smash Chronicles, where no matter what the heroes do to try to fix the problem, everything seems to keep going wrong. And even though originally it was Maple's doing, just by her being a little baby, this time it's Heraine's doing, because he's trying to weaken the Pokemon to devour them. Because, you know, he's a snake. And what do snakes do before they devour their food? They play with them. They weaken them. And yes, Coughing can learn self-destruct. It's also here that I actually highlighted the subtitles so that they're easier to see. That Jigglypuff is female, by the way. Just pointing that out. Randomly. Heraine the Python! Yeah, it's like when I put up part 5 with Heraine attacking them, everyone was like, "Boo, Heraine, bad guy!" And it was really funny to see everyone's reactions when they found out, "Oh wait, he's a good guy?" It's like, "Yep, he's just a snake. He sees prey. what's the snake gonna do when he sees prey? He's going to go try to eat it. But Heraine is not a bad guy. He's just a hungry snake. And that's Hyper Voice. Not a lot of people actually knew what that was. That move is Hyper Voice. And here we see Yoshi. Probably should have added some sound effects there, but whatever. Yeah, with Herapine's concepts and powers and abilities, I really try to get into detail with a real life snake.
Surprise.
And I do voice Heraine as well. I really try to make Heraine look as cruel as possible, just to get people to hate him, so I can purposely make him a good guy later on. Yoshi! Everyone's happy to see Yoshi. Who isn't? He's fucking Yoshi. That is kind of ironic also, actually. Yoshi eats everything. Doesn't matter how big it is, he'll eat everything. He'll eat a car, I'm sure, if he wanted to. And then Yoshi's like protecting Herapine's prey. That is kind of ironic. Now here we have the infamous battle scene. Snake versus Yoshi. There's really not much to say here. Is there anything I had actually changed for this episode? I'm trying to think. Oh, that move he just did right there for that split second. That's one thing. That's one thing Heraine can do. He can, as you can clearly see, he can slither his way out of his mechanical arms. So one thing he can do is he can pull himself out of his arms and then use his own body like a whip, using the arms to fling himself. So essentially, yeah, he's his own whip. Ow! Every time I see that, I get a slight headache. And here's where we get back to Falco. And we also get back to Morty Boomer, who ends up also being important for this episode. And they're somehow talking to each other, even though Falco is behind glass, Morty's outside, and I'm pretty sure the engines are supposed to be louder than they really are. That's what I'm showing them to be. Let's just pretend they have codecs. Can we just pretend that, people? Yeah, let's just pretend they have codecs. Well, yeah, Falco has a codec. Let's pretend Morty also has one. Oh boy, I did have it, like, I've always had it where Morty was the one who built Erpaine's arms and was close friends with Erpaine before. I think originally I was gonna have it where Erpaine was attacking a small toad child and Mario stopped him, and then Morty stops Mario from killing Erpaine because they're friends, something like that. That was in the original Smash Chronicles, by the way. It's obviously changed for here. And then if you know Pokemon, you should know that Pichu shocks himself. More irony. It got really laggy on this part. I have no clue why. Like, look. It's not supposed to be that laggy. And then it's fine there. Jigglypuff wakes up. So yeah, like I said earlier, even though here Falco's the one that brings Maple back, originally it was Yoshi. But still, Yoshi was kind of part of this because Yoshi was the one that technically saved them all. And then here we have plot twist. That's where Erpaine's name is first mentioned, obviously. It's like Erpaine really is just a snake. Like, he was fighting, but then he gets interrupted, and he's like, oh, wait, I was trying to kill someone? Sorry. I was in the middle of a conversation. And then, yeah, pretty much, Erpaine is easily persuaded by his friends. Like, if he knows someone who he truly trusts, and they say to trust them, he'll instantly become his friend. But something else about Erpaine, which I'm sure a bunch of you probably noticed in episode 5, Erpaine is like can act really loyal to people that he truly trusts, but when the only people who are around that he doesn't really care for, but he knows he's not supposed to attack, he acts really stubborn and just in a very uncaring mood, which I'm sure you all noticed with like Sonic in episode 5. So yeah, now that Morty's around, Erpaine's acting like a gentleman. Also, originally for this scene, I was originally going to have it where Mario and Peach and all them found out that Maple was kidnapped in this episode, but I ended up running out of time and I decided to scrap that idea and save it for later, which you should know, which was in episode 5 when I revealed that to the other characters. Like, originally what was going to happen here was, Fox and Falco were just get here and then go into the room to put Maple away, but then Mario and Peach show up, and then Fox and Falco hide themselves while Mario and Peach run in there. But at the same time, Pichu is outside the window trying to get in to play with Maple some more. Then Pichu rolls in, and a lot of havoc happens. All the other characters are kind of revealed. Mario and Peach are like, "What's going on?" And then Toadsworth explains everything. And then he's like really afraid that Mario and Peach will not parent Maple anymore because she was kidnapped the first night. But then they're like, "No, that's not true. We'll take care of Maple. We want to be her parents." Cheesy stuff like that. But that I ended up scrapping. Yep, everything's okay. As far as they're aware of. Toadsworth's just like, okay. The Star Spirits. Mushroom Kingdom's god, as far as I'm aware of. Then we get back to Bowser Jr., who was totally forgotten. I also did originally have where Bowser Jr. was also trying to pursue Maple, but something kept happening to cause him to stop. But I decided to scrap that and just have him get crushed once, and then that'd be it. And that'd be it. This also shows more of how Bowser is a father figure. But again, his more like I mentioned in my top 20 favorite characters of all time list, Bowser is a good father. His morals are just incorrect is all. Like here you see him reprimanding Bowser Jr. for sneaking out, but he's really mad at him for not telling in the first place. Like next time you do that crazy stunt, tell me and I'll support you. As opposed to a real parent, that'd probably ground your kid for life. Oh boy. Was there anything I originally decided to do for this part? I don't think so. I think this is exactly how I planned to do this part. There might have been something I did differently. I'm not really sure though. If I can't remember, it's probably not that important. You're a cocky idiot. I think in reality Bowser would probably punch the living hell out of Wolf for saying that, but you know, he needs to try to be cooperative. As much as he doesn't like it, Bowser needs to be cooperative for once. And this is Dedede's time to shine. Yes, he brings up the Elemental Knights, which I'll get into, obviously, in the next episode. This is exactly what it looks like. Got nothing to say. It took me a while to figure out how to end this part all dramatic-like for the Devil Sparta song, but you know, I originally found something out. As you can clearly see, like right about now. For the longest time, I can understand why people would make this mistake because they are obviously recolored Meta Knights, but everyone kept assuming that one of them was Meta Knight, and obviously they were wrong, but. You know, I can understand why you'd make that mistake. They're lazily recolored Meta Knight sprites. But then again, like I said, I'm not really trying to make a lot of good characters that people can easily steal from me. Like, you know, just making some recolored characters for a sprite series that you don't intend to make any money off of, just practice. I feel that's like one of I feel like it's a good excuse to make recolored characters. If you're just trying to make practice, you don't intend to make any money, you just want to make some characters that really no one can steal because technically you don't own them either. But yeah. I realized I failed to mention that I did edit that Maple sprite sheet too. In any case, I suppose I should get back to episode 6 now, shouldn't I? After this video, there will be another video before part 6 that I upload. that I have planned anyway. So keep on the lookout for that. And I guess that's all there is really to say. So I guess you can enjoy watching these credits for a second time, or nth time for however many times you decided to watch this episode. But yeah, I guess that's about it. I'm sorry. I don't want to just abruptly end the video just here. I kind of want to let it finish off. Okay, here we go. This is Brawl Fan 1. See you all in the next video. Later.